Hello. Okay, so I am going to show you how I did this side of my face, and we're just gonna walk through this side of my face. So I am using, this is from a local eyebrow company in my area that when I bought some eyebrow product, the brush came with it. I do love this brush, and so I'm using a medium brown for my eyebrows, and I'm just going to fill them in. You always want to make sure your eyebrow comes out to like a tail at the end. And I like to have some kind of arch there. And then I'm just going to take the top of my brush and make a little line square at the top of my, or front of my brow to create the shape that I want in the front. So if you like a round shape, just create the shape that you want. Okay, done with the brows. Now we're gonna move on to the eyes. I'm going to use my multitasker brush. I'm just getting a little bit of a shade. I don't even know what shade this is. White peach. And I'm going to put this all over my eye to prime it and to hide, which I did not need all that. But to hide the darkness or conceal it. You definitely don't need as much as I put on. So add a little bit and then just build up. Okay, so we have that there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my eyeshadow brush and let's see what colors I'm using. I will have to post the colors because these are our Advent color names and they have changed. So I will let you know. So I'm taking this shade on my brush and I'm just gonna take a little bit and then I'm gonna wipe my brush off because that's enough for what I wanna do. And I'm just gonna windshield wiper it back and forth. And I'm using that color as my transition shade. I'm also putting it a little bit on my lid too. Don't worry about it up here. We will correct it in a little bit. Now I'm gonna go in and I'm using, this is Bird. So I'm using this shade right here. I'm gonna use the pointy side of my brush, get a little bit of that on there. Oops. And then I'm gonna take the fluffy side, and you can take, this is a tissue that I've just been using to wipe my brush off, but you can take that. So one, you have a line there, and two, it makes it a little bit easier to control like fallout. But you can see how there's that line there. Okay. Now we're gonna go in, I'm going back to my multitasker brush and I'm using this color, which I think is another Advent calendar color. So again, I will post these, but I'm using this one right here. And I'm using the smaller side of my brush. And you can use whatever side you want. And then I'm going to take my eyeshadow brush, kind of blend that out. I'm going to go add a little bit more of that first color I used. Put it right there in the middle of my lid. Okay. Now we're just going to blend. And now we're going to take the bigger side of our multitasker brush and we're going to clean up. I keep grabbing way too much. Okay, blending that out a little bit more. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my eyeliner and I'm just going to put a little bit in the outer corner. I didn't put a lot. Now we're going back to our eyeshadow brush. Again, this is another Advent color. So most of the colors I've used today are Advent shades. So again, I will post them. Okay. And then we're going to use Bird and use it as a bottom liner. We're going to put some mascara on. Okay, so I just did my mascara, which I use Scandalous, Curve Alert, and Thrive. So now we're gonna go in to our main application and I am going to use, oh, here it is. I'm gonna start with the Detail Hack brush. I am using my main shade, Candlelit. Okay, so we have our foundation shade on already with that. Looks so much better. The coverage is phenomenal. Okay, now we're gonna go in with our contour shade. I'm using Ash. I'm sticking with my detail brush. It is my favorite brush. We're gonna do our forehead contour. I'm gonna bring it down just a little bit. Gonna get a little bit more on my brush. And I'm gonna put it on that cheekbone. And whatever's left, I'll put underneath my jaw. And I'm just starting to blend it out by just pressing my brush up and down on that contour shade. Okay, so now I'm flipping to the smaller side of my detail brush, going in with Moonlit. Gonna put it there. I'm gonna put a teeny bit there, teeny bit there, teeny bit there. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our buff brush now. I like to use this to blend in my accent shade. So I'm just pushing that shade in. This is the blend brush. Just kind of blending that out a little bit more with a more loose brush. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our cheek shade on. I am using Pop. I'm gonna let that sit just for a second. We're gonna move to our nose contour. I did not contour the other side of my nose, so I'm gonna do that now. It's on both of my fingers. Okay, now I'm gonna take my accent shade, which is Moonlit, and put it right there. I'm just gonna let that sit. All right, so I am using Maybelline Superstay ink color. Where's the color? Oh, there it is. It's Trust Your Gut 10. All right, then we're gonna put a little bit of plum over it. And then we are going to take one of our like highlight shades. I think this is Candlelit. And put it right there. And if you need to clean it up, clean it up. I'm super messy when it comes to lips. Well, really all of it, let's be honest. Okay, where is my... We'll just use the blend brush. So I'm gonna start blending this out. I actually prefer to use the blush and bronzer brush, but this will work. It does a great job of blending. Okay, so we have that there. I'm gonna take, it really doesn't matter what brush you take, but because I have the buff brush, I'm gonna take the buff brush and I'm putting that right underneath my contour. And that was my main shade, but like I said, it could be your accent or your foundation shade. Okay, I'm gonna blend this out just a little bit more. Then we're gonna take our fingers and start blending out our nose contour. I like to use my fingers because they are naturally warm and it helps melt that makeup. Then we're gonna take the multitasker brush and blend in that accent shade. And the way that I like to tell if my nose contour is blended the way I want it is look to the side. You can see a shadow, but you don't see any super harsh lines, okay? So then I know I'm okay, but blend it to your liking. All right, so then we're gonna take our blend brush. We're going in Photoshop Illuminator. Look at that. And put that there. If you want to put a little bit on the bridge of your nose, you can. And you can also put some right here. And then if you want, you can put some on your lips too. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and set it. This is where I usually like to take, I didn't use bronzer, but I still like to use my blush and bronzer brush just to kind of take it around my face and make sure that everything is blended. So I'm gonna go ahead and set my face with Coty Airspun, and I'm gonna be done.